What's up, guys? So with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as officially released, it was Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse that's coming out in next year. And even with this film that left us on like a huge cliffhanger, leaves us wanting more and for what's coming in the next film. And even though Miles is like and there's a universe that is in danger because of the spy, it with us so much more. And even with Gwen being involved, even though Miles' parents as well. And so in this video, I mean, give you guys my early predictions about what to expect for the next movie Beyond the Spider-Verse and how it will include the trilogy. And we expect more Spider people than what we saw in Across the Spider-Verse, and with so much more to discuss as well. And so if you're new to the channel and don't subscribe to this, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell. This is so on videos of this. And so let's get into it. And now let's go over everything that we know so far, and that's with the ending for Across the Spider-Verse. And also, spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, so you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back to this video. And now, in the ending for Across the Spider-Verse, so we saw Miles that ended up on Earth 42, where it ends up meeting an alternate version of himself who is evil and is revealed to be the Prowler, and with the spider that bit him, and it wasn't even from his dimension. In fact, it wasn't even supposed to bite him, as it was explained by Miguel O'Hara, and with Gwen, and went toward the 1610, toward Miles' parents, even with Gwen, and that went back to Earth 616B, and wound up her own spider army, and with the Peter B. Parker involved, even with his daughter Mayday Parker, and we see that she got up some old friends, and as with the band back together from the first film into the Spider-Verse to go and find Miles. And now this is like a big deal, and considering the fact that with Gwen and that went up to some old friends, and that means that we're in for a heck of a ride. And now, it's especially in that last scene that I was wanting even more, and we gotta wonder what's next for Beyond the Spider-Verse. And now, like we know that with the spy that's coming after Miles' dad is going to kill him, and even with the Miles as probably going to fight even Miles, who is real to be the Prowler, and even with Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, that is still out there and still looking for Miles, and even with this universe it's about to be coming apart, and even with the spy that was the main villain for Across the Spider-Verse, even Miles said that was in Spider-Man India's universe, and he caused that I can't event to be disrupted by saving all those people and blew a hole in the multiverse, and let everyone directly back to headquarters. And those people would have ended up dead, and even with that kind of event that he blew a hole in the multiverse, and even with the spot that's coming after everyone, especially with Miles' parents, and even with the Beyond the Spider-Verse, it's about to be more insane. And now, especially for the Spider people that we can expect to see, and with the Phil Lord and Christopher Miller that they did tease, that we know those were the Spider people that we saw Across the Spider-Verse, and we saw in that film, we saw a bunch of Spider people, and plus with the absolute favorites, including a Spider Punk, a Spider India, even the Spider Bite, and even with I think it's something like Spider-Man from the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, and even for one of those Spider people that we expect in Beyond the Spider, and they did tease that, and they did save several more Spider people as well, and even the Beyond the Spider-Verse that's going to be the last film in the franchise with the Miles Morales that's about to have his own trilogy. And for what we can expect, I think we can definitely expect some live action cameos, and even Across the Spider-Verse, we got some live action cameos from Donald Glover's Prowler, and even from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but they're all in flashbacks, all telling the Spider-Man stories, and even with Uncle Ben. And even with, I think we can definitely expect the live action Spider-Man, and that's with Tobey, Andrew, and even Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well. So that would be really cool to see. Especially for what we know about a Killing Event, and now this was explained by Miguel, is that with a Killing Event is like it's essentially an action or an event that happened to a Spider-Man, and with the Miguel and his universe, it started collapsing, and he connects everyone, especially for his family, and like even with the spot that's going after Miles' father and his universe, Earth 1610, that's about to collapse, and with Miles, like he can't do anything about it, and even with Miles Miles as doing everything that he can to escape Miguel, and even with all those Spider people that are now after Miles, and even though with Miles, I did say, even with the Spider-Man that he can always save people, of course, and that's why we saw Miguel and all those Spider people now after Miles, and now beyond the Spider-Verse, I think we're going to see even more Spider people, and even with the universe that's about to collapse. And plus, for how I think it will conclude this trilogy, well, even with the Beyond the Spider-Verse, that's about to be the last film, and even we can definitely expect a live action Miles Morales sometime down the road, because it's been confirmed by Sony that a live action Miles Morales film is in the works, and even down the road that we can definitely expect to see Miles interacting with the live action Spider-Verse, and as for Toby, Tom, and Andrew, and that would be so cool to see on screen, and even with the live action Spider-Verse, which we be pretty known for sure to be making an appearance. I mean, that'd be absolutely wild to experience that, especially for Beyond the Spider-Verse, and I think we definitely expect more Spider people, and even with a live action Miles Morales that's about to be debuting, and I think with that film, it'll probably end up pretty big. And plus, even for what's about to happen in a Miles universe and Beyond the Spider-Verse, it's essentially called a canon event, and with that event that's about to happen to each Spider-Man, and that's with Miles as well. And plus, even like he has saved everyone, or else it ends up disrupted, and not like he wouldn't be able to save everyone, but he is gonna disrupt that canon event, and that's why with the Miguel and all those Spider people that are after Miles, and even with those kind of events that happened to our other Spider-Man, and that was supposed to happen to Peter B. Parker, who was supposed to be dead, and even with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and their kind of events happen with their Uncle Ben's that are now dead, and plus even with that kind of event that's about to happen in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that's about to be even more insane, and now even with the Miles universe as now about to be destroyed. And on top of that, I think what we can definitely expect for the last one, maybe Beyond the Spider-Verse, is a lot more craziness that to happen, and even with all the Spider people that now gathered up, and even with a bunch more Spider people that we're about to see, and I'm hoping, and that way we can definitely expect some live action cameos, and even with those cameos that we saw in across the Spider-Verse, I think we can definitely expect a lot more, and Beyond the Spider-Verse as well. And after that film, that's on like a huge cliffhanger, especially with Gwen and her Spider Army, that is now going to find Miles, and even the Peter Parker involved as well, and even with Miles to take hostage, and even about the Prowler, who is evil Miles, and even with Miles that's supposed to be bit by the spider, and even with the universe as about to become a kind of event, and with the Miles I is going to do everything that I can to save his universe. And yeah, with all this, I absolutely love across the Spider-Verse, and now even with this, it gets me even more excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse, as we know that is about to be the last one in the franchise, and plus Miles is about to have his own trilogy, and even with all the Spider people that we're about to see, and even with those live action cameos that we can expect, and I'm hoping that we can see the live action Spider-Verse again in Beyond the Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, even for Tom Holland Spider-Man as well, so it could be a good idea to have the interaction of Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and even with the Miles Morales that's about to have his own live action film, and I'm hoping that it will be set in the MCU or in the Sony Spider-Man universe as well, and even if the Miles is going to be set as the main Spider-Man in the Sony Spider-Man universe as well. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff that's about to happen in Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is coming out next year, March 29th of 2024 as well. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. And so that is going to be it for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and what are your predictions for Beyond the Spider-Verse, and for what about to happen next, for what about to witness. Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe by turning on notifications about future videos, and for live updates, always follow me on Twitter. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.